Hello everyone, my name is Daily Manhwas and welcome to another video. In this video I will be recapping this manhwa called When I Was Born, Hundreds of Ghosts Walked at Night. I hope you enjoy the video. This story begins on July 15th, which was considered the most sinister day of the year. A pregnant woman arrived at a village and knocked on a house door with the intention of finding someone who could save her child. A man named Lai opened the door, and upon seeing that she was pregnant, he told her to come inside his house because it was very cold outside. At that moment, a woman named Long shouted not to pay attention to the pregnant woman because she was a ghost. The ghostly woman grabbed Lai's arm and asked him to find someone to save her child. Long struck her with a whip to free Lai's arm. She was a disciple of the Immortal Pillars Harmony sect. She asked the ghostly woman what her intentions were. The ghostly woman, Sirius, said she was looking for someone who could save her child. Gradually, her anger dissipated, and Long realized that her maternal determination had brought her this far. She told her that her son had died long ago. Upon hearing this, the ghostly woman tore part of her clothing to show Long that she was indeed pregnant and the child was still alive. She had a demonic pregnancy, and seeing the state of her belly, Lai asked Long if it was true that the child was still alive. Long replied that the fetus's life was hanging by a thread, and if the fetus were to die, the determination of the ghostly woman would disappear. And because of this, she would have a physical body with two lives, so she would transform into the birth ghost. The birth ghost took the lives of pregnant women with scissors to use them as substitutes. Knowing this, Lai asked if they should help her give birth to the child to avoid this. She said it was impossible because today was the most sinister day of the year. If the child were to be born, the mother would die and give way to the sinister child. Sinister children possessed sensitive natural abilities, and once they embarked on the path of ghostly cultivation, their progress was 100 times faster than that of an ordinary person, making them perfect candidates for evil ghosts to possess them. Now that the ghostly woman had reached the village, all spirits and monsters within a range of 100 kilometers were lurking around the village, wanting to seize this opportunity to possess the child. If the child were to be born, the night would be filled with powerful evil spirits, and Long sensed that if this were to happen, both of them were going to die. Without thinking twice, Lai cut the woman's belly to take out the child without harming him. Long took the sinister child, and the village was filled with monsters. Lai noticed that this child didn't have an umbilical cord like normal children. Long explained that the child lacked an umbilical cord because someone had placed the baby inside the belly of the ghost woman. Through the technique of transferring the demonic fetus, this technique involved extracting the newly formed fetus and then introducing it into the body of a woman born on the most sinister day of the year along with the 5 poisonous bloods. If the child matured without going through the birth stage, the child's spirit would torment the woman until death, causing both their lives to be sacrificed, giving birth to 2 uncontrollable evil spirits that only obeyed the person who had placed the fetus inside the ghost woman's belly. Long caressed the ghost woman, knowing she had suffered greatly. As a gesture of gratitude, the ghost woman gave him an amulet and told Long to take care of her child, promising to repay the favor in the afterlife. Upon hearing this, Long couldn't help but shed some tears, and she promised to take care of his child so that he would grow up healthy. The ghost woman passed away, and several minutes later, voices began calling out to Lai. Long told him not to respond, as they were just calls from ghosts, because now the doors of the underworld had opened, and the poisonous blood within the child was causing the ghosts to appear. She handed the child to Lai and told him to go home because she was going to stay and fight against the evil ghosts with the help of Lord Changba. Lai entered the house and handed the child to Long's son and his wife, and because they were ordinary people, Lai gave them a seal that Long had given him, telling them to quietly climb onto the roof. And if something were to happen to him and Long, they were to flee as fast as possible and head towards the old tree. Lai left the house, bound his sword to his hand, and told Long that he wouldn't leave her alone, as they were neighbors and had Changba's help. When Long transformed, she had 2 sides, one was the serpent Lord Ba and the other was Long. Lord Ba told Lai not to have such high expectations of him, because if something fierce appeared, he would be the first to flee. Despite knowing this, Long thanked him and tossed the seal into the air, causing several footprints to appear on the ground. And 2 ghosts became visible. Long took out her belt and eliminated them with a single strike because they were only immature soul-consuming ghosts. While she was distracted, a Tengu ghost appeared behind her, but just before it could attack, Lai cut it in half with a single blow. Seeing the Tengu ghost, Changba was surprised and wondered what kind of creature Long had saved to have such a sinister ghost appear. These signs indicated to Changba that he should not stay to fight. At that moment, a headless ghost named King Feng appeared behind him and asked where he planned to go. King Feng was originally a wild spirit, but upon seeing Long's actions, he felt honored and became a member of the Harmony sect of the Immortal Pillars. He began to sense the presence of old Mai approaching the village, and after several minutes, she arrived. Mai was on the verge of becoming an immortal ghost, so Long asked her why she was trying to harm her karma for a mere sinister child. Mai replied not to worry because she had mainly come to take a look, But if Long didn't get rid of the ghosts, she planned to intervene to take the child away. Lai was confused, so he asked Long who she was. Long revealed that she could cause them more trouble than all the ghosts combined. At that moment, Long's son started asking for help because the ghosts were getting closer to the roof. Kang Feng told Long that he would take care of protecting them. In an instant, he eliminated the ghost using his sharp claws. Another ghost tried to enter through the window, but the sinister child grabbed one of its tentacles and with his sharp teeth split it in two. Immediately, the ghost fled from the house, and several minutes later, more ghosts began to appear. Seeing this, Long didn't know how much longer they could keep fighting them, as the ashes she had previously thrown were losing their effectiveness. It was only a matter of time before the evil spirits entered the village and became unstoppable. Lai tried to encourage Long since they were both tough old guys and just had to hold on until the sunlight appeared. Long told his son to flee with his wife and child while they held off the ghosts. But to his surprise, Kang Feng brought the baby outside, and immediately, Long realized that the sinister child was controlling Kang Feng's body. The ghosts, upon seeing the child, began to surround him, but to their misfortune, the child controlled Kang Feng, leading him to his mother's body. Then he entered his mother's womb and started eliminating the ghosts. Seeing how fierce the child was, Long didn't know what the child would be capable of in the future. Chang Ba revealed to them that the child's sinister state was only temporary, and once his malicious aura dissipated, he would return to being an ordinary child. In a matter of minutes, the child began to lose his malicious aura and returned to being a normal child. Lai tried to help the child, but Long stopped him as it was dangerous for an ordinary person to approach the child. She planned to consume the spiritually resentful bone to transform into a ghost to save the child from the evil spirits. Kang Feng tried to stop her because if she turned into a ghost, she wouldn't be able to return to being a normal person. But due to the circumstances, she had no other choice, yet just before she could consume the bone, the ground began to tremble. Lai thought it might be an avalanche, but to his surprise, a crack appeared in the ground and froze all the evil spirits. The temperature rose drastically, and immediately, both Long and Mai realized who was responsible for this earthquakes. A chain ghost named Hanhu emerged from the ground crack, and upon seeing this, Mai scattered and wished Long good luck. Seeing Mai had fled, Lai realized that this man was extremely dangerous. Long and Lai prostrated themselves on the ground and showed respect to Hanhu. Hanhu was the son of a hunter, born with incredible strength and extraordinary bravery. His parents died when he was young, so he lived a harsh life, hunting animals to survive. Fortunately, he was taken in by an old lumberjack who treated him like his own son. The lumberjack had a daughter named Lan, known by all for her beauty. Over time, she began to fall in love with Hanhu, and several years later, they married. However, this event aroused jealousy among many people. Among the jealous people was a tyrant named Ermao, who had an older brother known to be a lawless sheriff. Upon knowing of Lan's marriage, he went to the lumberjack's house to kidnap his daughter, but to his misfortune, he and his men were defeated by Hanhu. To deal with Hanhu, they devised a malicious plan that lured Hanhu away from the mountain. The plan worked, and after Hanhu left for the mountain, they returned to the lumberjack's home and killed his family. When Hanhu returned home and saw the tragic scene, he killed Ermao's entire family as revenge. After killing Ermao's family, he knelt before the lumberjack's family graves for 9 days until he became a corpse. Due to his exceptional loyalty and love, the Emperor of the Ghosts bestowed upon him the title of Brave General. Later, Hanhu transformed into a deity to protect the region. Hanhu approached the child, and the child, upon seeing him, felt no hostility from him and began to raise his arms. Hanhu began to stare at the child fixedly, and Changba turned into a snake since he knew that Hanhu was about to attack, and if they didn't flee now, they would be annihilated. Hanhu took one of the chains he had on his body and, using his powers, trapped all the ghosts in the area, then created a pendant and put it on the child's ear. Then, he picked up the body of the female ghost and began to leave the village. The child started to cry upon seeing his mother leaving. Long quickly took the child in her arms and told him that everything was over. Hanhu went underground through the crack, taking all the chain ghosts with him. Afterward, the sun rose, and now that everything was over, Lai told the child that he was a very lucky child because after surviving this night, he would have a very prosperous future. But the danger had not yet ended, as until the child's soul stabilized, the ghosts would return every night. Lai asked Changba when the child's soul would stabilize. Changba told him it wouldn't be soon because they had to wait for the child to start speaking. Lai realized that this would take at least 2 years, and they wouldn't be able to confront the ghosts for that long. So, Long thought she only had one way to stabilize the child's soul as soon as possible. Both of them headed towards the old tree atop a snowy mountain. Long brought fruit and a hen as an offering. She told the tree that she had come to ask a favor from the old tree that had saved her life before. The leaves of the old tree began to fall, forming a cross, indicating to Long that the old tree was willing to help her. She knew this matter was extremely dangerous, but she had no choice but to seek its help. So, she prostrated herself on the ground and asked for a solution to stabilize the child's soul, and told him if they didn't do something, all the people in the village would be killed by the ghosts. Lai didn't believe in gods, and in his entire life, he had never prostrated himself before anyone. He was willing to do so before the old tree if it was willing to help them. Without hesitation, Lai also prostrated himself in front of the old tree. At first, the tree didn't respond, but after a few seconds, the old tree dropped a branch. This branch was from the Millennium Pine and contained the pine oil they needed to stabilize the child's soul. They both returned to the village, and Long began to plant the branch in the ground. Lai scolded her, saying it wasn't the time to play with plants. But at that moment, slowly, the branch began to sprout and instantly transformed into a Millennium Pine. Long told him that thanks to this pine, the ghosts would no longer tread on the village. And now that they were safe, it was time to begin the ritual to stabilize the child's soul. At dusk, Long lit some candles on a table to begin the ritual. Long explained to Lai that to stabilize the child's soul, they needed to seal off all the child's spiritual senses using the skin of a spiritual creature that had existed 1,000 years ago. After explaining this, she placed the child on the table and then she covered the child's body with Millennium Pine oil to sever his path of cultivation. Even though Long had been on a spiritual journey all her life, she hadn't been able to obtain the skin of a creature, so now she had to find another substitute. Changba asked Long if any skin from a creature that had existed 1,000 years ago would work. Surprised, Long asked if he had any such skin stored, and upon hearing this, Lai began to look at Changba with an empty expression. Changba got upset and told Lai not to belittle him as he came from a very powerful family. Changba's family members were snakes, and a snake from his family could turn into a python in 500 years. A python could become a small dragon in about 500 years, and a small dragon could turn into a water dragon in 500 years. Changba told them that he possessed the skin of his ancestors, and he was willing to give them the skin he considered a treasure in exchange for forgetting that he had previously fled upon seeing Hanhu. Long agreed because she thought he had fled to seek reinforcements. Then she ordered Changba and Kang Feng to protect the village while they began the ritual. Long poured the last drop of Millennium Pine oil into the child's mouth, and within seconds, the child's body began to manifest its soul. Long had faith that after the ritual, the child would become a normal person free from the sights of greedy ghosts. Now that the child's body was manifesting its soul, Long called for Changba to hand over the skin. Changba took out a piece of skin from his mouth and threw it onto the table, and in an instant, the skin covered the child's entire body. Long told to the child if he couldn't withstand the dragon's skin, he would lose his life. Little by little, the skin began to tighten around the child's body, and the spirit of a dragon appeared. Lai asked Long if they should help the child. At first, Long became nervous, but she remembered that the child mother gave them an amulet, so she told Lai to bring the amulet that the ghost woman had given them before she passed away. Lai took the amulet out of his pocket, and it flew into the hands of the child. Then, the amulet activated and instantly got rid of the dragon spirit. Gradually, the dragon's skin began to merge with the child's body, and after several seconds he fell back onto the table. The ritual had been a success as a dragon mark appeared on the child's back. Long took the child and named him Jianan, while Lai gave him the surname Hua. 5 years passed, and Jianan and Lai were heading towards the snowy mountain when suddenly Jianan stumbled and fell to the ground. Lai asked him if he was alright. Jianan said not to worry as he had found medicinal herbs. Confused, Lai asked him why he was gathering medicinal herbs. Jianan replied that he was looking for medicinal herbs to save his Uncle San since he had promised him that when he felt better, they would go together to hunt for frogs. Meanwhile in the village, a doctor arrived at Long's house, and after inspecting San, he told Long that he only had a few days left to live. He had given him all the medications he had, and Long had even used all the methods she knew to cure San, but despite this, his condition didn't improve. San's wife started crying upon realizing that her husband would pass away soon. San had been infected by a plague, just like many others in the village, and he didn't have much time left. He told Long not to worry because after his death, Jianan would take care of everything. His physical condition began to worsen, and through tears, he told his wife that once the baby was born, she could marry another man, as she was still a young person. His wife refused, and through tears, Long promised him that she would treat her like her own daughter and would find her a good partner. While everyone was sad, Jianan entered the room with medicinal herbs he had collected. Long told him not to get close to San as he might also get infected by the plague, but Jianan refused and told her not to worry because he had the antidote. His words shocked everyone, and as he headed towards San's bed, the doctor grabbed his hood and told him not to play with people's lives like that. But upon seeing the herbs, the doctor was surprised, and Jianan explained to him that he planned to use this ingredients to create the antidote for the plague. The doctor lifted Jianan and asked who was the person who had taught him to create the antidote. Lai opened the door and told the doctor that he was the one who had taught Jianan how to create the antidote. He He lied to the doctor because he didn't want people to discover that Jianan wasn't a normal person. The doctor was impressed to see that someone with such a low profile was so intelligent. While the doctor praised Lai, Long congratulated Jianan for finding the cure to save the entire village. She told everyone that she would communicate the good news about the antidote to the people in the village. Upon seeing this, Jianan told her to give his regards to the woman at the well. Immediately, Long's expression changed, and she asked Jianan who the woman at the well was. She asked Jianan in which well he had seen the woman. Jianan replied that he had seen the woman in the well in Tian's backyard. He saw how the woman emerged from the well and licked San's neck to infect him with the plague. San's wife was confused, so she asked Long why Jianan could still see ghosts if they had changed his skin. Long clarified that despite changing his skin, he still had the same eyes, so he could still see ghosts. Long decided to go to Tian's house with the excuse of telling him that they had found the cure to see if the woman in the well was real. After several minutes, she arrived at the house and knocked on the door. Tian opened it and asked her why they had come to his house. Long said they had come to bring the antidote for the plague. Then the doctor entered the house and began to explain him how the antidote worked. Tian took Lai inside the house to give the antidote to his family members. Long took advantage of the fact that everyone had gone inside the house to approach the well. After carefully inspecting the well, she did not feel any negative energy, so she began to think that Jianan had gotten confused. That's why she thought it was best not to tell anyone about the woman in the well. After several minutes, Lai and the others came out of the house, and Long asked Tian if he had been sick lately. Tian told her that he hadn't been able to sleep lately, and upon hearing this, Long realized that something strange was happening to him and his family. So she handed him a dagger and told him to hang it on the wall to ward off evil spirits. Tian thanked her and placed it on the wall of his house, and after everyone left, the dagger activated because it was detecting the presence of an evil spirit. The next day, Long returned to Tian's house together with Jianan to inspect the well again. Seeing that Long had come back, Tian asked her if there was any evil spirit lurking around his house. Long, looking at the dagger, told him that there was no ghost, and upon knowing this, Tian was relieved and entered his home. Long asked Jianan if he had really seen a woman coming out of the well. Jianan approached the well and began to call out to the woman, but no matter how much he called, no one answered. Seeing this, Long threw some coins filled with positive energy into the well so that if the ghost woman really existed, she would not be able to go outside to harm people. As they were heading towards the door to leave Tian's house, the village doctor opened the door and told Long that San's wife was about to give birth. Jianan and Long were happy to hear this good news and quickly went back to their house. Hours passed and it got dark, and San started worrying because the baby was taking too long to be born. The village doctor opened the door of the house and told them to find a vehicle to transport San's wife to the county hospital because she was having many difficulties giving birth. Upon hearing this, San became nervous as the county hospital was about 150 kilometers away, and if they even used a car, they were not going to make it in time to save the baby. Lai asked the doctor if there was no other way to save the baby. She told him that she had tried everything, but nothing was working, so the only option now was to take her to the county hospital. Jianan looked inside the house, and after thinking for several seconds, he told them that he had found a way to help San's wife to give birth to the baby. Upon hearing this, the doctor scolded Jianan, telling him not to play around with such matters as a person's life was in game. Lai knew that she was not going to listen to Jianan, so he took Jianan and went to the side to ask him how they were going to save the baby. Jianan told them they needed to prepare an infusion called powder that helped women with dilation. But before taking the infusion, San's wife had to take the ginseng. Immediately, Lai realized it was a good idea as the ginseng could revive the person who had consumed it. Lai prepared the infusion and gave it to the doctor so that she could take it to San's wife. The doctor told San's wife that she owed this infusion that Lai had prepared for her. Upon knowing that Lai had prepared the infusion, she began to doubt whether it would really work. But when she saw Long's face, she realized that the infusion had been prepared by Jianan. So without thinking twice, she drank the infusion, and after several minutes she began to feel better and told Long that now she could give birth to the baby. Within minutes, she gave birth to a baby girl. And Long thanked the doctor, and as a token of her gratitude she told her that she was going to give her a pair of rabbits. Then the doctor left, and on the way she thought of throwing San's wife's uterus into the river to prevent the bandits from finding it and selling it on the black market. As she was heading towards the river, she began to feel a strong aura, and without any delay she began to follow the trail of the aura until she reached the well of Tian's house. Without thinking twice, the doctor threw the uterus down the well, and after she left, the ghost woman came out of the well. Meanwhile, while San was thanking Jianan for saving his wife, the ghost woman appeared and climbed onto the roof of the house and began to stare at the baby girl. Jianan saw her and told her to come down from the roof to play. San got scared and asked Jianan who he was talking to. Jianan told him that he was talking to the woman he had seen in the well at Tian's house. Long sensed the presence of the ghost woman and immediately came out of her house, but she was too late as the ghost woman escaped. Long told her that she was going to finish her off for entering her territory to harm the villagers. The next day, Long lit candles in front of a statue to ask the gods for help. The gods told her that there was an iron coffin in the well of Tian's house, and also advised her not to fight against what was inside the coffin. They also told her that 300 people were going to die because of the iron coffin. Long immediately realized that she would not be able to defeat the evil spirit so easily. She came out of her house to tell Lai that there was an iron coffin in the well of Tian's house and that 300 people were going to die because of it. Upon hearing this, Lai told her that he was going to gather many strong men to plug the well so that no one would be able to take out the iron coffin. At that time, San came to tell him that many people from the city had come to Tian's house to help him to reform the well. Upon hearing this, Long and Lai headed to Tian's house. Upon arriving at Tian's house, they saw that there were many people gathered. Lai approached the entrance and asked Tian why there were so many people gathered at his house. Tian told them that his younger brother Zhang had come from the city to visit the inn. After spending several days living in the inn village, he realized that people were facing a lot of difficulties in getting clean drinking water, so he went to the city to bring an excavator to fix the well. Long became scared because she didn't know if they had found the iron coffin. Jigging left the house and told them that after seeing that the people of the village couldn't get much clean water, he went to the city to ask the government for an excavator machine to help the people in the village to get clean water. Jigging also told them that the ground in the village was very difficult to excavate using conventional methods, but thanks to this machine, they could drill to a great depth. Long felt relieved to know that they had not found the iron coffin. She thought it was time to tell everyone what was really hidden in the well. But before she could tell them the truth, Lai grabbed Long's arm and took her to a secluded place to tell her not to interfere with the excavation of the well, because if the iron coffin was not found in the well, people would accuse her of ruining the excavation for mere superstitions. Lai asked Long if there really was an evil spirit hidden in the well. Upon hearing this, Long reached into her pocket and pulled out a piece of clay soil, telling him that this clay soil had been under the iron coffin. Lai was confused because he didn't know what clay soil was. Long told Lai to smell the clay soil, and after smelling it, he realized that it smelled like fresh blood. Long told him that this clay soil was a mixture of lime, clay, sand, and black dog blood, and its main function was to prevent the resurrection of the dead or suppress extremely evil objects. Once it solidified, it became very hard and could not be affected by water or fire. Lai realized that this clay soil was suppressing the evil spirit inside the iron coffin. Iron was inert and had no connection to yin and yang, and because of this, the trapped soul could not escape. Being buried in an iron coffin was equivalent to being cooked in an iron pot, and if clay soil was added on top, it was like throwing someone into a frying pan filled with boiling oil. Even if the person buried in the coffin was a good person at first, after so many years, he would eventually turn into an evil spirit. Lai finally understood how serious the situation was, so he told Long that he would take care of this matter to stop the excavation as soon as possible. He went home and called one of his old friends to ask for help to stop the excavation. That same night, at Tian's house, a boy named Zhao woke up in the middle of the night and left the house. Then he went to the well and turned on the excavator. After several minutes, lightning struck in the sky and the water started to come out of the well. After a while, the water pressure also brought out the positive energy coins that Long had thrown into the well to prevent the evil spirit from being able to come out and harm the people in the village. Long woke up in the middle of the night because she had a bad feeling. At that moment, Sin entered Long's room to tell her that a member of Tian's family had died. People gathered at Tian's house, and when they saw Zhang's lifeless body next to the well in the middle of the night, they thought it was a murder. Long and Lai also arrived at Tian's house, and upon seeing that people were speculating that a murder had occurred, Lai told everyone that the ghost hiding in the well had taken Tian's life. Jigging was shocked to hear this, and he approached Long and Lai to ask for their help in getting rid of the evil spirit so that it couldn't harm more people. Zhang took Long's hands and tearfully told her that Zhao had come to the village to visit his brother, but because of the excavation, he had died. Long told him not to worry because she would find a way to get rid of the spirit, as if she didn't do something about it, the spirit would end up killing everyone in the village. Tian was shocked to hear this, and Long told everyone that she was willing to risk her own life to get rid of the evil spirit. Jianan noticed that Tian was very frightened after hearing Long's words. Long promised everyone that she would find a way to eliminate the spirit, even if it meant risking her life in the process. Zhao had died because she had not warned them about the presence of the evil spirit in the well. Now, she refused to listen to the advice of others. Long told everyone that starting tonight, no one should go out after 8 o'clock. They should also sacrifice all black dogs and roosters and spill their blood in front of their houses. Then, she told the village doctor to notify everyone to come to her house to collect fragrant ashes. After several hours, all the villagers went to Long's house to collect the fragrant ashes, but after a couple of hours, the ashes ran out. The people who didn't receive the ashes started to get nervous, but Long assured them not to worry. She instructed those who didn't get the ashes to bring a red bandage to the old tree for each person living in their homes. Then, they had to bow to the old tree and tie the red bandages to the branches, seeking the protection that the tree offered. The people felt fortunate to have someone like Long. After obtaining the red bandages, the villagers began to head towards the old tree. On the way, San saw two police officers in the distance. One of the police officers named Lemon told everyone that they had come to investigate the recent murder that had occurred at Tan's house. San greeted the two policemen and informed them that he and the villagers were going to the old tree to seek protection against evil spirits. One of the police officers scolded them and told them to stop believing in ancient and feudal superstitions. The police officer wanted people to adopt a more materialistic approach and believe in the established leadership. Tian interrupted the officer, asking him to stop talking and get out of the way as they were in danger. The police officer told him to speak with more respect as he was a government official. At that moment, Lai appeared and told the police officer that government officials were there to serve the people. If he didn't consider the needs of the people, he didn't deserve the title of official. Lemon approached Lai and advised him to be careful when confronting the official, as he was the nephew of the local chief. Lai ignored Lemon and approached the official with a murderous look, ordering him to get out of the way. Immediately, the official stepped aside and changed his attitude, asking Lai if he could also accompany them. Lai ignored his words, and the official realized he had gotten in trouble with someone important. Lemon started following Lai and along the way told him not to involve people in feudal superstitions. Lai asked Lemon if he believed in ghosts, and Lemon replied that he was a police veteran and respected others' religious beliefs. But despite this, he didn't believe in ghosts. Upon hearing this, Lai asked Lemon if he had participated in the war 10 years ago. Lemon said he didn't, but his comrades did. During the war, he had heard rumors about how the enemy had used black magic, but he thought black magic didn't exist and was just nonsense his comrades had made up. Lai took out his medals and showed them to Lemon, and Lemon immediately recognized the medals and greeted Lai as those medals belonged to the veteran general. Lai told him that he was no longer the veteran general but just a retired veteran of the war. He had only taken out the medals to gain Lemon's trust. Lai swore to Lemon on his medals that the strange events happening in this village were truly related to ghosts and demons. After showing him the medals, Lai asked Lemon if he was willing to believe his words. Upon seeing that Lemon didn't respond, Lai asked him why he had joined the army and why he had become a police officer. Lemon put his feet together and told Lai that he had joined the police force to serve the people. Upon seeing this, Lai told him that he should do what is right for the well-being of the common people. Lemon greeted him and said that he would follow all his orders. Lai took Lemon to the well in Tian's house along with Long, and when they arrived, Lemon asked them why the three of them were alone if the iron coffin was extremely dangerous. Lai told him that Long was an expert and not even 10 men could match her strength. Afterwards, Lemon cordoned off the area around the well to prevent civilians from entering. It was then that Tian expressed to Long that he trusted them with his life. Long explained to Lemon and Lai that they should dig when the sun was at its highest point at noon, but since they didn't have much time now, they shouldn't worry about it. She advised them to be very careful. Lai and Lemon took shovels and with the help of the excavator, they removed the iron coffin from the bottom of the well. Upon seeing the coffin, Tian asked Lai if the killer was really inside the iron coffin. Lai told him yes and also suggested to Lemon that before opening the coffin, he should carry the fragrant ashes that Long had given him. Lemon approached the iron coffin and Long assumed a combat position in case the evil spirit came out of the coffin. Lemon opened the lid of the iron coffin and a putrid smell started to come out from inside, and a few seconds later, the corpse of a woman began to float inside the coffin. Lemon was petrified upon seeing that the woman had started to smile. Immediately, the atmosphere changed and Lin suggested to Lemon to step back. Then she approached the coffin and was shocked to see the state of the corpse. At that moment, the corpse emerged from the water with an evil smile. Then it attacked Long using the water inside the iron coffin, but Long reacted in time and blocked the attack using the fan. She was impressed to see that this immortal corpse had tried to attack her with a great deal of resentment. Lai understood that the resentment of the woman's corpse came from the pain and suffering she had experienced before being locked in the iron coffin. Upon hearing this, Lemon wondered who could be responsible for such a cruel act. He was determined to uncover the truth and punish the culprit so that the woman could obtain justice. Seeing the woman's corpse, Tian fell to the ground and told them that she had returned from the past to exact revenge on his family. Immediately, Lemon approached him and asked what had happened to the woman. They all entered Tian's house and he explained that 100 years had passed since the incident, and he thought his family would no longer have any problems. 100 years ago, Tian's family was a wealthy and reputable family. His grandfather married several women throughout his life, and the corpse in the iron coffin was one of his wives. That woman came from a theater company. She was beautiful but not faithful, as even after getting married, she flirted with every man. She even had sexual relations with several nobles. And when Tian's grandfather found out about this, he severely punished the despicable woman. Then he hired a Taoist priest and they flayed the woman alive, tying her inside the iron coffin while she was still alive so that she would suffer eternally. Tian was paralyzed with fear, and he considered himself innocent since all the tortures the woman had suffered were at the hands of his grandfather. Although Tian had heard about her before, he had never thought that she was buried at the bottom of the well. Long approached Tian and reassured him, saying that she had suppressed the woman's corpse with a golden and silver fan so temporarily she wouldn't cause any trouble. But once night fell and the soul fused with the physical body, even Long didn't know what could happen. Zhang was in shock and asked Long what the fusion of souls meant. Long explained to everyone that the previous riots had been caused by the spirit of the corpse of the woman in the iron coffin, and now that the corpse had been unearthed, the spirit was waiting for nightfall to merge with the corpse. At that moment, not even Long could confront it. Upon hearing this, Zhang got angry and asked Long if no one could defeat her, then why she had unearthed her. He began to think that Long was jealous of the wealth that the Tian family had. Seeing that Zhang was being disrespectful, Tian told Zhang not to talk nonsense. Long told them that if they hadn't unearthed the corpse, then everyone would die. Zhang continued to think that she was jealous of his family. Tian apologized to Long and told her not to stoop down to the level of a child, and asked her to help protect their house. Long told him not to be afraid of the evil spirit, because if they burned the corpse in time, she wouldn't be able to cause any more trouble. At dusk, Long lit a torch and everyone gathered around the iron coffin, and then Long set fire to the corpse. Lemon asked Long if it was enough already, and she replied no. At that moment, the flame of the fire began to intensify and the spirit of the woman's corpse manifested. Zhang and Tian hugged each other out of fear upon seeing the spirit. Immediately, Lemon stood in front of everyone to protect them. At that moment, Lai realized that the spirit could speak. The spirit of the woman's corpse told everyone that they were going to die today. Long was shocked. She knew that the spirit of the woman's corpse was dangerous, but she never imagined that the spirit was so fierce as to manifest and speak during the day. Long took out a treasure from her pocket that served to suppress spirits, and she threw the treasure into the fire because she knew she wouldn't be able to control the spirit of the woman's corpse. The spirit of the woman's corpse began to scream loudly in pain, but everyone covered their ears in time. After several seconds, the flame of the fire returned to normal and the woman's corpse turned to ashes. Seeing this, Lemon thought that everything was finally over and Tian and Zhang hugged each other to celebrate. But Long told them that it was too early to celebrate because they had only eliminated half of her abilities. Upon hearing this, everyone was shocked. Lai asked Long what they should do now if they couldn't defeat the ghost completely. Long replied that they should just patiently wait until nightfall. Zhang asked Long where they should wait, but then they realized that the evil spirit was going to return to Tian's house. Long approached Tian and told him that the spirit deeply hated him and his family, so tonight it was going to come to his house. Long asked Tian if he wanted her to come to his house to protect him. Tian took Long's hand and without hesitation asked her to come to his house tonight. That same night, Long lit some scented candles and told the gods that she was going to confront the evil spirit tonight. Long asked the gods that if she lost her life tonight, if they could protect her family in her place. The gods accepted her proposal and she thanked them tearfully. Meanwhile, Jianan approached to see what was happening. Long left the house and told Sin that she was leaving the responsibility of the house in his hands. As she was leaving the house, she heard Jianan's voice asking where she was going. Jianan hugged her and asked her not to leave, as he was scared and couldn't sleep alone. Tearfully, Long asked Jianan to be a responsible man and sleep alone at night. And tearfully, Jianan asked Long if she would come back early tomorrow to keep him company while sleeping. Long promised Jianan that she would do everything possible to return the next day. She also asked him that if she couldn't come back, not to forget her. Then she left, and Jianan started asking himself if she really wouldn't come back. Jianan did not want to lose Long, so he quickly went to look for Shi to ask for his help to save Long. Long arrived at Tian's house and spread dog bone powder all over the yard. Then she hung copper bells with thread soaked in black dog blood, and then she set up a net to catch the souls in that yard. Long told Lai that she had learned these things from tarot priests, and she wasn't sure if they were going to be useful or not. Long asked Lai if he really wanted to fight against the evil spirit. Lai asked her if after all these years she really doubted him, but Lai wasn't very sure if Lemon should also risk his life alongside two empty heads like them. Lemon told them that he would do anything except be a deserter. If any evil spirit came, he would bite it and tear off a piece of its flesh. Long told the two of them that they both had integrity and fierceness, which made them the nemesis of evil spirits. Long gave Lemon a rope so that when the spirit of the woman appeared, he could hit her. At that moment, the energy of the spirit began to emerge from the well, and the bells started ringing. Long also told them to prepare themselves because the evil spirit was about to appear. The bells stopped ringing, and several seconds later, the figure of a woman started emerging from the well. Long quickly sensed the danger and told Lai and Lemon to step back. The spirit of the woman cursed them all and told them that they were going to be judged by her today. The ghost woman, instead of attacking Long and the others, started moving towards Tian's house. Long immediately realized that she was going to attack Tian's family. At that moment, Zhang opened the patio door, and the ghost woman started advancing towards him with the intention of seducing him to absorb his energy. But just before the ghost woman could attack Zhang, Long threw black dog blood on her back to prevent her from attacking Zhang. The ghost woman started flying, and when she turned around, she saw Lemon getting ready to hit her. Lemon attacked her, but unfortunately for him, the ghost woman dodged the attack, leaving Lemon speechless. Lai tried to warn Lemon that the ghost woman was behind him, but Lemon reacted too late, and the ghost woman managed to grab him by the neck. Seeing this, Long tried to attack the ghost woman, but she anticipated her attack and entered the coffin with Lemon. Seeing that she had locked herself in the coffin, Lai asked Long if there was any way to open it. Long spat some of his blood on the pine branch. She told Lai that she was going to soak a pine branch with her blood. She knew that even if she used this attack, the ghost woman would not come out of the coffin. Long placed the pine branch in the coffin and then gave it a strong blow. Immediately, the blood traveled inside the coffin and hurt the ghost woman. Long told the ghost woman that if she didn't come out of the coffin, she was willing to sacrifice her life to use the blood lightning to finish her off. The ghost woman replied that if she used the blood lightning against the coffin, not only would she be killed, but Lemon's life would also be ended. The ghost woman was willing to be struck by a blood lightning in order to sleep with someone like Lemon. She started taking off Lemon's pants, and upon seeing this, Lai asked Long if the ghost woman was really going to attack Lemon. The ghost woman started seducing Lemon, and upon seeing this, Long got angry and told the ghost woman that she was going to catch her to teach her a good lesson. Long started calling Changba. Changba appeared and asked Long why she had called him, reminding her that he had agreed not to interfere in other people's affairs. Changba also told Long that he couldn't harm the ghost woman if she was inside the iron coffin. Long told Changba that she didn't want him to fight the ghost woman, she just wanted Changba to open the door of the iron coffin to save Lemon. Changba started to doubt if he should really act. Seeing this, Long told him that the ghost woman had already lost half of her cultivation because she had previously used the treasure. Long promised Changba that if he helped her, she would build a temple in his name so he could live in peace for eternity. Changba couldn't believe what he was hearing, so he asked Long if she was serious. Long replied that when was the last time she had tried to trick him. Upon hearing this, Changba realized that she was serious. He was willing to take the risk to get a temple in his name. Without hesitation, Changba used his power and summoned a green serpent, then attacked the coffin, but his attack didn't have much effect. At that moment, the ghost woman left the coffin while holding her throat, and Lemon took advantage of the moment and also got out of the coffin. Lai approached to help him, and Long asked him what had happened to the ghost woman. Lemon told them that before she could catch him, he stored dog blood and ashes in his mouth, and when she tried to bite him inside the coffin, he spat the black dog blood and ashes in the ghost woman's face. Lai told Lemon that the ghost woman hadn't tried to bite him, but had tried to kiss him, and upon hearing this, Lemon blushed and told Lai not to joke in such situations. The ghost woman quickly recovered and told the three of them that today they wouldn't leave Tian's house alive. Using her powers, the ghost woman teleported behind Lemon to seek revenge on him for spitting dog blood and ashes in her face. Quickly, Long intervened and moved Lemon away, and because of this, the ghost woman bit him hard on the arm. Immediately, Long stepped back, and Lai asked Long if she was okay. She told Lai not to worry about her. Currently, she was fine, but she didn't know what was going to happen in the future. Long told Lai that if they continued to fight against her at this pace, Changba would be the first to fall. Meanwhile, Jianan was heading towards the Shi Mountain. On the way, he entered a forest filled with evil spirits. He was afraid, but he told himself that real men were not afraid. He had to help Long, and to help her he had to find Shi, and Long had told him that she resided in the snowy mountain. On the way, Jianan stumbled and fell, but despite hurting himself, he tried not to cry since Long had told him that real men didn't cry. After walking for a while, Jianan climbed some rocks and climbed onto a cliff, but unfortunately, there was no path. At that moment, the forest beasts began to approach him, until some wolves came out of the forest and started to surround him. Jianan fell to the ground out of fear and tried to ask for help. The wolves began to approach Jianan, but just before they could attack him, two ghosts emerged from the forest. Upon seeing the ghost, the wolves started to become afraid and prostrated themselves before the ghosts as if they were gods. The two ghosts approached Jianan and told him that they hadn't had the chance to devour him when he was born, but now that they had encountered him, the two ghosts were willing to take this opportunity to become stronger. One of the ghosts reached out to grab Jianan, but at that moment the spirits of the old tree and the water dragon manifested around Jianan's body and repelled the ghosts. Jianan turned around and immediately recognized them. The two ghosts were surprised to see that Jianan had the ability to protect himself from evil spirits, but despite this, they were not willing to give up. The ghosts knew that Janan's protective ability was only temporary, so without hesitation, the two ghosts began to attack the spirits that were protecting Janan. In a matter of seconds, the protective ability broke, and the two ghosts, seeing how weak Janan was, began to mock him. Janan swallowed and told the ghosts that he could get food for them, but before that, he wanted to go find Shi to save Long. At that moment, an evil aura began to emerge from the forest, and immediately the two ghosts started to tremble in fear. Seeing this, Janan didn't know what was happening. In the blink of an eye, a palanquin chair appeared, and the two ghosts prostrated themselves before the chair. A voice ordered the two ghosts to disappear. The two ghosts immediately vanished, and Janan was relieved to see that he was saved. Janan got down on his knees and prostrated himself before the palanquin chair. The ghost inside the palanquin chair was Mai. Seeing Janan's attitude, Mai realized that he was a very respectful child. The child who was extremely evil had become a good person by changing his skin. Mai thought that it was unnecessary to harm Janan since she now considered him good karma. Mai told Janan that he could call her grandmother and asked him why he had come to such a desolate place in the middle of the night. Janan raised his head and asked Mai to save Long. Mai was surprised to hear this and asked Janan what had happened to Long. In tears, Janan told him that Long had gone to fight an evil spirit, and she had told Janan that he would not come back to sleep with him. He wanted to go and look for Shi, but he couldn't find him either. In tears, he told Mai that he was useless because he couldn't save Long. Mai, using her powers, took Janan in her arms and said that if he wanted to find Shi, he should have gone to the snowy mountain. It was a waste of time to look for Shi in the Mai mountain. Upon realizing his mistake, Janan started crying and apologized to his grandmother, but Mai dried his tears and told him that because he called her grandmother, she would help him with this issue. Immediately, Janan was happy to hear this and asked Mai if she was joking. Mai told Janan not to worry because the evil spirit of the iron coffin couldn't match her. At the same time, in Tian's house, the ghost woman was face to face with Lai. She had already defeated Lemon and had even trapped Long inside the iron coffin, and once Long's energy ran out, she would lose her life. She told Lai that no one could save him anymore. Lai replied not to underestimate him, as he had lived as a soldier for half a century and had not died on the battlefield. Dying at the hands of a ghost was a dishonor for Lai. He was willing to fight against her for hurting innocent people. In the blink of an eye, the ghost woman moved at high speed towards Lai. Lai tried to attack using his sword, but to his misfortune, the ghost woman blocked the attack using her sharp claws. Then she deflected the sword and took advantage of Lai's inability to defend himself to deliver a strong blow to his chest. But to her surprise, the blow did no harm to him. Seeing this, she asked Lai who he really was and why his body was protected by merits. Upon hearing her words, Lai was confused as he didn't know what a body protected by merits was. The army medals had blocked the attack from the ghost woman. The ghost woman realized this and cursed at Lai. At that moment, a loud thunder roared in the sky. Immediately, the ghost woman covered herself and started saying that she couldn't speak without basis. Without thinking twice, she entered the iron coffin, and because of this, Long came out of the coffin before her energy ran out. Chanba's spirit was about to disappear. Lai called and approached Long to help her. At that moment, the ghost woman fled from Tian's house in the iron coffin. Chanba was happy to see that the ghost woman had finally left. Long said this wasn't good. Lai helped Long to stand up and told her that this wasn't the time to worry about these things. In the sky, Mai appeared and told the ghost woman that she had heard rumors that said the ghost woman from the iron coffin was very cruel. The ghost woman was so scared that she couldn't even respond to Mai. Mai absorbed the iron coffin and several seconds later eliminated the ghost woman. Seeing Mai, Long was surprised as she didn't know why someone fiercer than the ghost woman had suddenly appeared. Chanba asked Mai why she hadn't notified him in advance about her visit, as he could have made some preparations. Mai responded that if she had notified him, he would have summoned several powerful spirits to trap her. Changba told Mai that he would never have done that. Long thanked Mai on behalf of all the villagers, as if the ghost woman from the iron coffin had escaped, she would have caused a lot of trouble. Mai told Long that she shouldn't thank her, but instead should thank the little child, as she was only dealing with this problem because she cared about the little child. Using her powers, she transported Janan into the arms of Lai. Long and Lai were surprised to see that the little child that Mai cared about was Janan. Using her powers, Mai covered Janan's ears and then told Long and Lai that they were both irresponsible, as today their grandson almost got devoured by a ghost. Long was shocked to hear this, and she asked Mai what had happened. Mai approached them to tell them everything that had happened, and upon hearing the truth, Long couldn't help but shed tears seeing Janan's filial love. While Janan was sleeping, he started talking, telling his grandmother to come back home to play with him. Mai commented to Long that she increasingly liked Janan's obedient and respectful attitude. Upon hearing this, Long had an idea. She asked Mai if she wanted her to build an altar at the entrance of the hall so that she could come and see Janan at any time.